Today, I'm here with Kody Kildea, episode 37, owner of Signature Boost. Really excited to talk about credit, funding, and everything that has to do with that. Kody, what's up, bro?
Not much, dude. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
How you feeling today, bro?
I love it. I love it. Yeah, every day above ground's a great day.
Let's freaking go. So how'd you get, so you were born, and then what happened, bro? How'd you get started? How'd you get here?
Everything after that, right? So I was born, and then shortly after that, I got to work. So I went to UNLV. Was a UNLV student, Las Vegas local my whole life.
What'd you study at UNLV?
I studied business and finance.
Okay, right on.
And then during that time frame, typical college student, I needed to get my hands on some
cash,
money.
yeah.
So I had worked at an auto store or an auto parts store in the past, and knew I liked cars, knew I liked people, and stumbled into car sales. And then while I was in school, I was working in part-time sales. And that just kind of progressed from there. I never saw myself. You know, when you hear about a car salesman, you're like, oh my God, is that something you do when you get out of prison? So, but I actually found out that you do it the right way, and you can make a career out of it. So, did the car sales thing, and then that progressed into sales management, and then into finance, which is where I spent a lot of my time. And then I was in a marketing position for a short period of time, and then now I just kind of combined the two, got used to social media, got used to credit and funding, and building contracts, learning how interest rates work, learning how the cost of credit, whether it's good or bad, what it can save you, and the wealth that can kind of build. And then decided that I didn't learn a lot of that from school. And so I knew that 99% of the people that I was in class with weren't getting that education as well. And so that kind of sparked this company. And then it initially was built to just help people that couldn't qualify, both out of the dealership or friends, or just people that didn't really understand it. You get a credit card at first from Hollister, and you think it's more like a gift card than a credit card, so you don't really understand that. And then it just spiraled into, had some realtor friends that took it on, had some mortgage friends that took it on, solar pros, and then now it's a company. So
let's go. So how long were you in the car industry? Because you were in marketing inside the car industry, right? Too.
Correct.
So how long were you doing that before you transitioned out of it?
So in total, start to finish, about 7 years in the industry.
That's a long
So I spent a lot of time. So it was I was at UNLV for three and a half years, got my bachelor's, and I was in sales for that entire time. Then when I graduated, was in sales management for about a year, 2 years in finance, and then about a year in the marketing position.
Let's freaking go. Hell yeah. So then, so now, what's been the most rewarding aspect of kind of what you do now?
So the biggest, if you talk to any car person, it's the time constraint, right? Being there at the dealership, 12 hours a day, that sort of thing. The most rewarding thing has been working in a manner through social media and through the ability to use sales still, use the skills of closing and marketing and prospecting, setting appointments, that sort of stuff, but use it in a time-efficient manner. There's a lot of times when you're in, and you know this, right, working remote. A lot of it is when you're in a building or when you're there, there's so much dead time, so much time wasted in just sitting and waiting that through social media and marketing, being able to attract leads and then work through those in a time-efficient manner that isn't constrained to one place has been awesome.
Hell yeah. So how long have you been doing the Signature Boost? How long has the company been
So
around?
it was from start to now in the works for 2 years.
Nice.
And then the last 6 months has been 300% increase.
Let's
in
go.
Clients and stuff.
Hell yeah.
So like I said, initially I was still working full-time in the dealership, and so a lot of that was just word of mouth sort of stuff.
Yeah, just kind of side hustling.
Yeah, and then most recently, that was when we started applying, marketing techniques, social media ads, that sort of stuff. That has cranked it up in the last 6 months.
Hell yeah. Have you noticed, in the economy, just the way things are going, is there more people now in this time that are in need of this type of service, or is it just? Yeah,
100%. So I think just overall, the price of everything has gone up, right? National credit card debt is at an all-time high.
30% interest right now. It's fucking robbery, bro. It's crazy.
Right. And then you combine that with, cost of homes and interest rates and all that sort of stuff that you always want to put yourself in the best position to receive the lowest rate financing or, the best opportunities that you can when it comes to leveraging yourself. That you want to do that and get prepared for that before actually doing it.
Yeah, before you need to use it.
And some people have this attitude towards credit, we were like, well, I don't need it at some point. Like, I'll just buy everything cash. And like, there's a reason why multi-billion-dollar companies, you got Meta and Apple that still have debt. I mean, they're billionaires, companies worth, billions of dollars that still utilize leveraging debt. That's what our entire economy is based on. And so it's about staying out of bad debt situations. You did the 30% car loans or 40% credit cards
on bullshit,
and into the good debt that allows you to leverage yourself and create wealth. So
sick. So I don't follow like a ton of credit people. There's like I don't know much about this, but I've seen like people on other podcasts talk about like how people do like fast sweeps or something, and like that's apparently like illegal, or there's something unethical about it, or you get in trouble,
there's definitely rules you have to follow, and this applies to everything, right? Like there's just illegal things that you can do in car sales, mortgage underwriting, right?
I didn't know that. Apparently there is.
In any industry, there's definitely there's people that do things right and do it the correct way, just like what I first discovered with car sales. You can meet the slimy guy that's on the lot, and he's probably going to do some wrong things to you, and that's why car salespeople and realtors and lawyers all have negative things about them in the first place. And then there's the people that do things the correct way. So there's fair credit reporting laws for a reason. The CFPB exists for a reason. They're there to protect you. And a lot of things as far as like collections agencies and items that they come at you every which way to try and get something from you, that there's actually laws that they're violating, that when we go through and pick apart either the ways they try to contact you or the people that talk to get to you. If I'm from a collections agency and I call you, but your brother picks up and I start to talk to him, that's a big no-no.
Yeah.
So there's the reasons those laws exist. That's what we utilize. But yeah, there's definitely ways that we're like, these guys online will forge signatures and do some crazy. Yeah, they make fake police reports, all that sort of stuff that you steer clear of. Those are the guys that you'll see blow up in 6 months and then they're gone.
Yeah.
And then they'll blow up and then they'll go gone.
So what's the like process if like someone signs up with you or like they want to repair their credit? Like what do you take them through?
Yeah, so first and foremost, we get on a call with them and go over some of the different items that are either negatively affecting their credit or just their credit as a whole. Because my big thing is like I'm not going to take you on as a client if I'm not actually able to help you. And so after analyzing that report, if it is something that we can help with, we kind of lay out a game plan as to how that's going to go. Get all their information set up through a client portal. They submit all of their documents so that we can get to work. And then they get rounds and dispute updates. And then through that process is how they see an increase to their credit score. And then past that, one of the biggest things where people fail, I think, overall in any sort of industry is the communication portion and then the back end support. So, I've always said like the first thing I want to do with you, not the last thing, the first thing I want to do with you is fix your credit. And then after that, let's figure out a way to apply it. So whether you're trying to buy a house, you're trying to buy a car, you're trying to, leverage 0% financing to start your own company. That sort of stuff is what I help people through too, because I've touched so many different parts of that through the car industry and people that are in mortgages and all that sort of stuff, that the first thing I want to do is help you get out of your current situation. And everything after that is where the real fun begins.
So like if someone, they were young and they like just fucked off their credit cards and they have a bunch of charge-offs, is there like a way to like, do you have to pay them back? Is there a way to like get around that? Or like, what do you do in that type of situation?
Yeah. So there's hundreds of fair credit reporting laws, almost similar to, have you ever stolen anything?
No,
I'm just kidding. Don't answer. No.
I don't think or got caught.
Right. No, but there's like a statute of limitations basically to the things that can negatively affect your credit. So like there's a certain time period where they have to fall off, and then collections agencies, if you're not understanding that situation, and a lot of people don't, but they're just basically Wells Fargo, you had a credit card that you charged off, and Wells Fargo wrote off that debt and said, this guy's never going to pay us back. That gets picked up by a collections agency, and they're stacking. They take the $500 that you owed Wells Fargo, they tack on their own fees. Now it's $700. Really? Then if they can't get a hold of you, it gets passed off to another collections agency. They pass off.
Because do they buy it off Wells Fargo?
Yeah,
so
for
Wells
pennies
Fargo,
on the dollar.
Oh, okay.
Pennies on the
so
dollar.
They
right?
make something.
Yes. And so then the first thing that they do is if you pay them anything, they absorb it in their fees. So you're not even paying down what you initially owed. Now you're paying their fees. And then if they can't do it, then that gets passed off to someone else. And so you can see where that just kind of becomes this like long train of a mistake that was made a long time ago doesn't ever come off. And so that's what we are in the process of, we dispute that stuff and get a hold of them and get that stuff removed, because at the end of the day, a young person's mistake is a young person's mistake. You have to be able to move past it at some point. So
yeah, and so then like your process of doing that is like is removing those like blemishes or whatever. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that.
And so and then you go through the process of coaching people on the understanding different, because every credit card has its own interest rate, its own stipulations. It's either whether there's sign up fees and that sort of stuff that you never get told about. And the reason we don't get told about it is because that's what that's how the game is played, right? They absorb the fees when you're young, and then later you're like, oh, I guess I shouldn't have done that. But so we actually coach people through the back end portion of like, look, this is how you avoid getting in that situation again. Right. I always tell everyone, I'm like, I only want to help you once. Yeah. I don't want to have to help you twice. Yeah. So if I have to help you twice, something went wrong.
This is a problem. Now this pattern.
Right. So we go through the process, get those removed, and then help.
So how long does that process typically take?
Anywhere. It depends on the bureau, right? So if you got one person that's got one collection from 5 years ago, that's going to be way easier than someone that's got something like a repossession or a car repossession or something like that. Average file takes between 4 and 6 months. Sometimes it's faster, but I like to underpromise.
That's like the ethical following the rules way.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
without
only follow the rules way.
Yeah, because I mean, again, I don't know. I've seen like reels or whatever. People are like, oh, they sweep it and then it just gets like put back on. So I don't know what
that's what happens when you do things incorrectly. So when things are done by the law, then they are off and they stay off, and then you're able to move past it. Versus if you're just trying to file something that's fake or incorrect and then it gets blocked. I mean, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax are multi-million-dollar companies for a reason. They're not just like, oh well, let's just sweep that one under the rug. So
just $250 sweep, no problem.
Exactly. Yeah, they're on top of it. So.
Yeah, that's sick, dude. Yep. Cool. And so what's the future look like for you, bro? Like, what are you excited about?
I think, that's a good question. So I've got a couple of different friends that were in the fields in like SBA stuff and like I said, mortgage industry and those items. I think for us, the goal is to really capture our market for sure here in Vegas. And then that's another thing about credit is you can help people all across the country. Yeah. So get as many clients as we're able to handle in a good fashion, and then hire some employees and scale from there. I think that's the goal for any company is to scale, but really to see us in a position to where maybe we're offering a first-time, credit card on our own, or
that would be crazy.
Some SBA loans on our own. So
so
that would be the skill that I would really like to see.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's next level, bro. That's really like expansion. Like, dude, you could get, if you start to become a lender, that's how wealthy you get. Really wealthy that way.
Right. That would be the route. Well, that's it's just credit and brokering some money.
Brokering some deal, Let's freaking go. What about, self-development? Are you into that at all? Like
personally or with teams?
Just personally, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, if I go and I speak at UNLV and do that sort of stuff to go back and show, like, because, sometimes the younger people, you're young too, that's like, there's this mentality that the world is all kind of doom and gloom and stacked against you. And there's definitely still ways that you can make it. You're a testament to that, right? So I go back, I speak. I like to get in front of people just to show that, what we're doing is still possible. Young entrepreneurship is still possible. There's still merit-based industries. You don't just need a paper that says you can do stuff. You can still just go out and do it and make a living. And then, for me, I'm still big on, I work out every day, all that sort of stuff. That's big on keeping yourself in check. Yeah.
What's like a book that you've read that's like impacted you?
Probably the Bible. No, I'm just kidding. But no, actually, I go to church with my spouse every week, and her and I delve deep into that just to make sure that there's a lot of different ways to go awry in today's world. There's
100%.
a lot of different things that get talked in your ears. So staying aligned to that is pretty big. Watching podcasts and that sort of stuff is my big thing. Is I'm always working. I'm always talking to different people. So a lot of the stuff that I take in is auditory or going to church and stuff like that.
Let's freaking go, bro.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So what's it called? All right, we got through the good stuff. Now let's have some fun, bro. What do you do for fun? What do you do like
What do I do for fun? I got some friends. We go out and we'll play football and stuff on the weekends.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
That's
We go out and play some football. I grew up an athlete, and so I like to do that. We go out on the weekends, and we actually, my family has a cabin up on the mountain, so we'll go off road and just get out.
Here?
Yeah, Mount Charleston.
Oh, sick.
Yep. Yeah, so we'll get up and out of the way and just kind of relax, decompress, get out of the busyness of this. But and then I recently purchased my own home here in town, and so maybe it doesn't come across as fun to some people, but
that's
doing a lot of different home improvement projects and stuff like that. I did an entire remodel in the house. So
way, by yourself, you?
That's me, and I initially for the initial teardown. I mean, entire inside of the house has been torn out and redone. So initially that teardown portion was handled by a crew, but then all the design, all the putting the shit back together.
No way. You put like the cabinets together and shit? And
we had a lot of the, we laid tile. I mean, if
you did it?
Yeah, we laid
Dude,
tile.
I don't even know how to do that.
Paint. I mean, it's a big project, but it's been awesome. That's been really fun.
That does sound fun. I mean, we do a lot of like gardening and like shit. So I mean, I think that's fun.
I'm planting some trees this weekend. It's in the old Las Vegas Country Club. My neighbor's house is Dean Martin's house.
Oh, no way. Like right here on like Rancho and like...
It's right behind the Wynn. So you have the Wynn, there's a Wynn golf course, and then kitty corner, that's Las Vegas Country Club.
Oh,
shit. It's right behind the Westgate.
Wow, that's crazy.
So...
I think I know the area.
You have to come out.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. What inspired you to buy there?
Initially location bound, right?
Really?
So I was at the dealership and I was like, hey, I need somewhere that's relatively close to this, but I also wanted to kind of live like in its own little area. I like being close down to the strip. I'm in Las Vegas for a reason. So being down to like next to the shows and fashion show and all that sort of stuff is cool. Just go out and bound around.
Where'd you grow up at?
I grew up over in North Las Vegas.
Oh, okay, right on.
Yeah, grew up and out of the way.
What high school did you go to?
Shadow Ridge.
Okay. I went to Centennial.
Oh, did you? Yeah. Yep. Bulldogs, baby.
Yeah.
So I grew up on that side of town, and then I had a soccer. Like I said, I grew up an athlete, so I played soccer and football growing up, and then when I reached the end of that career was when I was kind of like, all right, well, I need to do something. Went to UNLV on a scholarship, and then that's when the car sales thing unfolded. So.
Dude, dope. What year did you graduate high school?
2018.
2018? Oh, dude, you're a youngster. How old do you think I am?
I don't know, 30?
Yeah, I'm 34.
Are you?
Yeah,
there you go.
I graduated in 09. That's a long time ago.
Yep. Yeah, I'm 2018.
Let's go.
But
that's sick, dude. Well, yeah, it seems like you got it together for how old are you? Like, I mean,
25.
25. Yeah, dude, 25. You're fucking killing it, bro. 6-7 years in sales. Like, oh, dude, that's incredible.
Stacked up.
Yeah, I wish I would have started sales or like self-development a lot younger in my life.
It's funny because I feel like it's become like a very niche thing most recently. Like everybody and their mothers have those node strips and the cold plunges.
But that's not like real self-development though. Like self-development's like working on yourself, facing your demons and improving like daily, like, you know what I mean? And then applying it, like to know and not to do is not to know, right? So like you could learn all this stuff, but if you're not applying it actively, like walking in faith and like taking risks and doing things to improve yourself, then I don't think that's like, I mean, the gym and stuff, yeah, but even the gym is still like a level of like self-development. Like I'm sure your health is okay, but it's not gonna like, you know, help you grow in business if you're not like doing things outside the gym. So I think it's, you know, fundamental to definitely like do the gym, learn every day, but like if you're not applying it, then it's like, yeah, everyone on the internet's like, yeah, fuck yeah, cold plunges, no strip, mouth strip, cold water face
Wake
dunk,
up at
like,
3:45
you know, but like that's not gonna do anything for you if you're not doing anything, like, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think like you said, it's a fad to be into self-development, or to like entrepreneurship is even a fad, but like how long have like, you know, anyone actually been out here? Like, you know, I've been in business for myself since 2018. Like that was a lot. And I've had multiple business failures prior to that. You know,
Sure.
like 2018 was my last time that I ever went back to a job. And now like I just like have developed myself so much that even if I lost everything today, like I would be able to like add value to the world just because I've learned so many valuable skills and developed so many relationships that it doesn't matter where I'm at, dude. I could like go, bro, with an iPhone and make money anywhere. Like, you know,
Exactly.
so it's just coming to that realization, adding value to your stature to continue to like, you know, serve and add value to the society.
I like that you said that too. Is just there's a lot of especially in sales, the industry that I was in, is that a lot of it ends up being very self-serving in the form of like what you can buy for yourself, or when you're not working, it's all about you. But I actually got a lot of it from my dad, who's been in real estate for like 30 years here in town. But all of it has been about, you know, you what you receive, you also have to give.
100%.
What you give, you receive. So, you know, charity portions and all those sorts of things that you still give back. It helps keep you grounded for sure.
Yeah. And you have to, bro. Like literally, I forgot the axiom, but it's basically like the law. I don't remember something, but like the more you give, the more you receive. It's literally the law, bro. Like you plant seeds, you
Scarcity
like water
mindset
them.
versus growth mindset.
Dude. Shoot, I feel I had like a really good like thing. Oh, so yeah, being of service to people too. Like, so yesterday I was on a podcast and these kids asked me like, oh, what's your most like successful business? Or like they called me a creator. I mean, I do like make a lot of content, like my business is content, but like I don't get like sponsorship deals, or like my influencer career does not make me any money, right? Like aside from leveraging my service. So what makes me money is being of service to people, like making videos for people, doing service to people. So like the more service that you render to people, like anything material is a byproduct. Like you will receive, but you have to give before you receive anything, you know?
Absolutely.
And when you think of it selfishly, right? Like, oh, I'm the top influencer, I'm the best, like that doesn't make any money, bro. And even if you do finesse people, it's like it's for a selfish purpose. Like you have to build a structure or a business and a structure where you're giving back and being of service to people. If not, there's no longevity of it, bro. Like literally that's the key to power is service. So like I don't know. People get it twisted.
Absolutely. It's funny because even kind of wrapping back to my industry is even in the credit space, it's actually really hard to even get like merchant accounts where you're able to like take payment from people like Visa, MasterCard, that sort of stuff. That's why like 90% of people that are on social media are like, oh yeah, pay me Apple Card or Apple Pay or Zelle.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's really hard to get it. The reason why is because so many people take on a bunch of clients and then the clients get no results because they were only about the money in the first place. They're not about actually helping the clients.
Yeah, and then you could get refunded, right?
Yeah, they get chargebacks and then they shut down the accounts.
Oh, wow.
And so, you know, you get someone that's been doing it for a long time, and you're like, oh yeah, 2 years in industry. I mean, 2 years is not even that long, but like I have some friends that are 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 6 years. That when they last that long, you can tell just from the fact that they're literally still in existence, from a fundamental level, able to exist. That you are about being of service to your actual clients and not just about the money.
Yeah, the Simon Sinek book, The Infinite Game. And that's what it is. It's like, dude, there's so many. I feel the same way, right? There's like a ton of videographers always popping up. There's like so much competition. And I get people like, oh, there's no business out here. I'm like, what do you mean? There's like $1 billion industry.
Right.
Like, I don't even understand. Like, I could trip and fall into some business, like, you know? And it's because, because like, I know that we're like, just provide value and we're of service, you know what I mean? And so like, I don't feel like I'm in competition with anybody because I've been in business for like 10 years, you know what I mean? Or 2016, we LLC'd the company. So we've been in LLC'd company for that long. Like, you know, it's like you can't, it's the infinite game. I'm not in competition with someone that's going to fall out next year. It's like, dude, I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing. I've been doing it for 10 years. Like, you know, it's been working out for me. I'm sorry it didn't work out for you. Like, you know, but it's because money chasers, bro. You're chasing money instead of chasing being of value to somebody, adding, and that's why like our company expanded the way it did, because at first I was just making videos for people, but the longevity of that isn't very long, right? Like you could sign a contract for whatever, 3-6 months, whatever, but then they're like eventually canceled. Even it doesn't matter how much they like you and how well the energy exchange, because there's no return on investment. So then we started adding more value, like, oh hey, we'll manage your social media, add more value. Then it was like that still ended up being like an 11-month lifespan, but then it was like, oh well, we'll do your marketing campaigns, then you're getting a return on investment investment. And now we have accounts that have been with us for like 3 or 4 years, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's reoccurring money. Those accounts are worth hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like,
Just from doing a good job.
yeah, just from doing a good job. And then our industry is great because it's like, it's almost like an affiliate program. Because like we make a video for somebody or an edit or anything, they post it, and then they're like, who did that? And then it's just like everyone you work with is an affiliate. So as long as you do good, like you'll always have more than you can, you know, more than you need.
Yeah,
and that's
word of,
like,
especially you're in the right industry. You're in the right, I don't even know the word, habitat for it, Las Vegas. You're in the right area for word of mouth to just be such a big thing. Like you said, you do a good job, you do a good edit, I do a good repair, whatever it is that people want to talk about it. There's a saying that's like, you do a good job for someone, they'll tell 1 or 2 people. You do a bad job for someone, they'll tell everybody
100.
they know. Exactly. And so here in Vegas, especially with how fast moving 24-hour we are, if you burn people, you're done.
Yeah, you're toast. Well, and too, like growing up here, and like I think that's why what helps our business, it's like we've developed relationships from your whole life. Like, you know what I mean? It's like I've been out here for 34 years, like every day. So it just continues to compound. And what's cool about like being here is like you see, I mean, you're still kind of young, and not that I'm much older than you, but like for what I'm seeing is like how I keep elevating in business. It's not necessarily like that I'm doing anything different. Obviously, we're improving our systems and trying to do the best we can with content and stuff. But after like content has become commoditized, like anyone could film content anywhere, right? So like, but I keep getting into these bigger rooms and bigger rooms and bigger rooms, like. And the people that were like the gatekeepers, like, you know, the vendors to MGM, like the content vendors, they're like these older guys, dude, that are starting to fall off. And as I continue to ascend and like meet the people that are like the gatekeepers, it's like if we stay here and continue to progress in the, like, we'll be those vendors. We'll be the vendors that service all of MGM, all of Caesars, all of like, you know, and it's just through exactly that, like adding value, meeting people, getting in bigger rooms. And the only way for me that's happened is because of the self-development. Like that, I read a ton of books, like self-development books. Like I read every single day for like an hour or 2. And when you expand your consciousness and you can have higher level conversations with like billionaires, like my most recent mentor, I don't think he's actually a billionaire, but like his net worth's over 500 million for sure. And real estate developer guy. And dude, yeah, like when you know enough about like the universe and you could talk logic and you could like give them an offer, they're like, that makes sense, let's try it. Like, you know, and so by expanding your awareness, you could have higher level conversations with higher level people, which lead to opportunity. And so like that's why I think self-development is like the most important thing that you could do. Like if you want to get rich, read as many books as you can. Like that, like to me, you know, that was my thing. I wish I would have done that sooner.
Yeah, I've got a buddy of mine that I went to school with that does a very good job of, he was in sales with me for a while, and he actually went up to, he works at Summit, which is the golf course up here. And I mean, average net worth of someone that's there is $500 million.
Yeah.
So he's talking to a lot of these different people, and he's like, dude, you know, one of the things that I noticed is that the majority of these people don't care about like the car that you drive or what's on your wrist or like any of that stuff. They will tell you or write you off like immediately of like what you like, the energy that you give off, or like the self-confidence you have, the ability to maintain eye contact, like just basic stuff like that so many people our age are going to, it's like gone away with.
It's crazy.
That he's like, dude, this is what is actually what those people care about. And for Vegas to be such a young city, like we're not like Chicago or New York where there's families that have been around for 300-400 years. Yeah. I mean, we're in a
like maybe 1 or 2 generations.
Yeah, exactly.
Deep.
And for those guys to fall off and you to be rising like that is just positioning yourself to be here for a long time.
Dude, it's crazy. Yeah, and like just keep going through the gatekeep and then doing a good job for them, right? Like you do a good job for them, like and then prove, like example, like we ran ads for the guy that owns this building is who I'm referring to, and he figured out what I did. I didn't charge him any money, bro. Like I love, like for me, I think about when I like am mentoring people and they just feel entitled and want something, like, well, how much are you going to pay me? I'm like, okay, you're done. Your opportunity's over. Like, you know? So I did the same thing, bro. I did what I would want for like someone to do to me. So I was like, okay, what do you want? And then he's like, yeah, let's get leads for this place. Let's like lease some freaking space. And I was like, well, what's it worth to you? So he started, I don't know if you're familiar with like commercial real estate, like the cap rates and value of the property and stuff.
Yeah, you got to underwrite a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, and so like he starts explaining this to me, and he's like, so a lease is not just worth like the lease value. It's like the cap rate, and then I write it to the loan and like adds value, whatever. It makes it more liquid that you can leverage it. And so I'm like, holy shit, okay, cool. So then bro, no money. We never talked about money, right? I was like, cool, I'll set it up. I filmed like a bunch of creatives. I got into his ad account. I like set it up. I sent up his back end. Then we keep having these meetings, and I kept like this is why it's not working. Then we got him a deal. Like we made it happen. And then once you've proved the concept and you've given someone, it's like me giving you $100,000 and then I'm like, here's $100,000. Like, all right, now let's negotiate. Like I signed a deal, it closed, they're in. You wrote it on your loan. Now what's it worth to you? Like, now what's the value? Like, do you want to keep doing this? This is how much it costs. Like, and so when you build relationships like that, then he plugged me into, he owns this thing. It's like WeWork. So it's like a huge contract. It's like $7,000 a month or whatever. Like he plugged me into that because he owns that business. Then like, you start like getting plugged into different things, and it's all by just being of value, bro. If you could be valuable and be of service and give somebody something that's tangible, that like is valuable to them, like worth hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars to them, they're like gonna do whatever you ask. You know what I mean? Not that like I'm not gonna be like, okay, give me $500,000. That's what like no, but like give me some opportunity. That's what I told him. I was like, opportunity, bro. Plug me in. That's all I want. And so like getting to know his network, it's crazy. It's like the people that own like iconic shit. You're like, whoa, you own that? No fucking way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's awesome, dude. I love meeting other Las Vegas locals that are doing things and scaling their companies and share that kind of same, like what you were talking about, presenting value and then worried about receiving. We were talking about what you give, you receive, right?
It's the law of the universe.
So yeah, presenting that value, it eliminates so much of the sales resistance too. Like a lot of what we do ends up being some word of mouth stuff, but the ads, and then you have to portray when you do a good job. So it's not bragging, but it's showing
it's like marketing the results.
Yes,
you have to market your results, 100%.
Absolutely, yeah. Showing satisfied customers, showing these things, because then when you present that value up front, eliminates so much of the sales resistance and creates just like a good atmosphere for people to both trust you, because there's a level of trust that whether I'm dealing with people's socials or you're dealing with someone's entire building, there's a level of trust that is entrusted to you. And then when you provide that value up front, I mean,
dude, the sky's the limit, and people get it messed up, dude. I think entitlement's a big thing, like in today's day and age. Like people feel entitled to like, oh, I'm supposed to have a successful business. Like, what? Since when? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you're not supposed to have anything.
Yeah, you're not supposed to have anything. Literally, like, bro, you're not like, So it's dope that you're so young and like, have your head on pretty straight. Because like when I was 25, bro, I was like still popping Molly and fucking with strippers and shit, So like
maxing out credit cards.
Doing all the wrong. I don't think I even had any credit cards at that age. Well, my first business, I was 23 and I went bankrupt with it. So like after that, I didn't have any cards for a long time, like only until like the last recent couple of years. So like, but yeah, I mean, I definitely learned a huge thing. Like that business, I learned. I just made a video. I'm about to post it. You'll probably see it like when you leave. I was like writing the caption. You walked in. But I over leveraged myself, but it was because a lot of people when they're getting into business, they think they need all kinds of shit, right? Like they think they need like a fancy desk. They think they need like a nice truck. They think they need like it was a mechanic shop. So I thought I needed a laundry service. I thought I needed like special uniforms, like all kinds of bullshit that you don't need, right? Like you're more concerned about appearing like a business than being in business. Like the number one thing you need to do is make money. And then the number two thing you need to do is make a profit, like, and then I said in the video, like I would even argue like you don't even need an LLC, like until you need an LLC, like, it's like make money. Like I don't want to put your business out there, but like you were side hustling, right? Like doing this credit repair stuff. Like at that point, you don't need an LLC. Like, you just need to prove the concept, make some money, get some money in. And then like, once you need a bank account, do whatever, like, you get the LLC. But like people get so hung up on like, oh, I need to get an LLC. I need to like do all this shit. I need to get the sign, I need to get my car wrapped. I need to do like all this shit that you don't need to do. Like, bro, you need to make sales and make money. So
you need to start with the money portion. That's if I can advise you on anything, start with the money portion.
If you're not making money, you're in trouble, dude. So then, over leveraged myself, went bankrupt. That was in 2013. So I'm good from that now.
Yeah, everybody learns somewhere. Before I started in the credit game, where I really learned about like scaling and leveraging was we were renting cars. So,
Oh, no way.
Yeah, doing like the exotic car rental thing.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And so that was a previous. Everybody's got like everybody will look at you and be like, "Oh, you're lucky. You built
Yeah.
this." No, dude, I failed more times than you've tried.
You
So-
failed at the freaking exotic thing? What happened with that?
Just, I mean, it's Las Vegas Strip, and you have the
There's a
you
lot of
have
competition.
as high of a chance of getting hit by a drunk driver at 2 p.m. as you do at 2 a.m. So just so
No way. So you
yeah.
totaled some cars
So
or
there's-
like rental?
yeah, I've got more stories on exotics than
No way.
than probably the average person. But yeah, me and some friends were started to rent cars off the strip,
Yeah.
and I mean you're renting exotics, right? So it's great because you're making $1,000 a day, but you're risking a
$250,000,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly, right. So
What about insurance and stuff for it?
exactly. That's really what what brought that down was like it just becomes an insurance nightmare. And that was like when Turo was first kind of like taking off and
Yeah.
like becoming a thing that now it's very you have to be either at scale or own the cars outright, self-insures. Like Houston's a person that we know, and he's all self-insured.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Houston Acosta is the guy that does.
I went to school
yep.
with them, with his whole, like
Yeah.
his brother and his
Oh
sister.
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Houston Hot Chicken, all that good stuff. So, yeah, so he's one of the guys that has lasted the longest in the game. But I mean, just to becoming an insurance nightmare.
Yeah.
Which kind of led. I mean, you just take what you learn out of it and then turn it into something else. So that was where I was like, okay,
Yeah.
well, I know how to manage a portfolio of interest rate loans and like manage money in, money out. But I wouldn't have been able to get to that point without credit. I mean, there was a point before it became an insurance nightmare that, you're making a couple $1,000 a day.
Yeah.
And it's I didn't have the $1 million to buy all the cars.
Yeah.
But because of smartly leveraging yourself that, okay, well, I can make money by taking debt. And it's the same thing that all these major corporations do. Taking debt from investors or banks or whatever at a smart interest rate and using that debt to make money. And so that's what applies to
literally the game.
Yep, that's literally the game. Yep. How can I move the money from the bank's pocket into my pocket and
make a profit on it
and be smart in the meantime. So
dude, that's fucking sick, dude. That's super dope. I'm bummed we didn't get more into that because that's what I really like to hear about is the failures because I've had major massive failures over and over again till like people see the level of success now, right?
Sure.
And it's like it's not like it just got here. It's like, dude, I've got my teeth kicked in like so many times, like dramatic failures, like looking at the sky, like, what am I doing, bro? I'm like, finally something worked, and it's like not giving up, like just keep going, like, people stop after the first freaking roadblock.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah, there's a little image that of one guy's dribbling a basketball. He's like, this is 98% of people, and he never takes the shot.
Oh, I think I just saw that.
1% of people that take the shot once and miss, and then the other 1% that keep shooting until they make it. So.
Dude, you only need to make it in business once. Like, you only need to hit one time in business, like, and then you'll be set up for life, And I don't even know if I've done that yet because, like, the business, I mean, it's good, but it's not like just like a money printing machine like that could be. I mean, it can be, but I'm a human resource business, so I leverage human resources to make money. With human resources, it's expensive. Like you have to pay a lot of people to do the work. Edits, videos, social media management. It's not like software where you just make one thing one time and it's like,
right.
Yeah. Like, so that's what I'm trying to figure out. It's like, how can I like turn it into a software or something?
Yeah. One thing was software as a service. Sort of
yeah. SaaS. Yeah. 100%.
But very cool.
Sup, E? No, you're good, bro. We're wrapping up anyways. Well, bro, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Thanks
hope
for
to
having
see you
me.
again soon, bro.
Yeah, we will for sure.
Let's go. Peace.